What's up everyone, it's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you the books I'll be reading for the Skoden Readathon and also what I'll be reading in the month of November. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, I would like to say I'm really excited about the Skoden Readathon. I tried to get my books in order for November specifically, and then the announcement from Kim, I'm all for it and I'm here for it. So for the prompts, which is right here, these are beautiful graphics, by the way. So here is the bingo board, and also here is an in-depth information about the prompts themselves. So for the first prompt we have is queer or two-spirit representation. I thought I would go along with this book. It's called The Summer of Bitter and Sweet by Jen Ferguson. I wanted to read this book the moment it got out and that it was released, but I never got a chance to. And so here we are. It is November and I am going to be reading this beautiful book right here. And so for this one, it says, fact, ice cream is good, but ice cream can't fix everything, which I wish it did. It says, Lou has just broken up with her first boyfriend, Wyatt, after all 46 of their kisses never made her feel any kind of a spark, only uncomfortable with her own body. Too bad he'll be working at her family's ice cream shack for the whole summer, along with her ex-best friend, King, who's back in their Canadian prairie town after disappearing 3 years ago without a word. Yet all of that fades into the background when Lou gets a letter from her biological father, a man she hoped would stay behind bars for the rest of his life, who was insisting on having a relationship with her. Lou can't shake the sense that he poses a danger to her and her family, and she can't ever forget what that man did to her mother, not when Lou's mom might finally have a chance at happiness. But even though King's presence makes Lou feel safer and warmer than she would have thought possible, when her family's business comes under threat, she realizes that she can't ignore her father forever. In this complex and emotionally resonant novel, debut author Jen Ferguson serves up a powerful story about rage, secrets, and all the spectrums that make up a person, and the sweetness that can still live alongside the bitterest truth. So this sounds, like I said, it sounds really good, and I'm all here for it. And even on the back, look at the cover. It's just beautiful. It's well done. Because it says here, the night air is cool and almost smells like rain is coming. I dig into my bag of wet things, searching for my lip balm, wondering if it's just rained here or if the storm is still on its way, when I discover a letter. It's in a plain envelope, Louisa written on the outside in blue ink. My mom's name, but she's gone, and this is my mom's gym bag. I tear into it. So yes, this is going to be my first book. I thought this would fit well with the first prompt, which is queer rep. So yeah, I went with this one. So this is going to be one of the books I read for the Skoden Readathon. Now for this next prompt, it's called Omau book cover. And so the colors that has to be on the book cover is red, yellow, blue, or black. So I'm also going to combine the prompts with this one. There's another book that I also could use for the prompt. So who knows? Who knows? I know I'm gonna get a few bingos on this board, on the bingo board right here. But yeah, I thought I would go with this one for the second prompt. But I do have another one that could go as well. The next one is Beyond the Lower 48, so outside of the US, which technically this could go with it as well, but I was going to go with this book right here, The Barren Grounds by David A. Robertson. This is book 1 of the Omau, sorry if I'm not saying it right, saga. And this is also a middle grade, which is another prompt on the bingo board as well. So I could use this book for both of the prompts. But yeah, because I believe this is located in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. And so for this book, it says, let's see. It says Narnia meets traditional indigenous stories of the sky and constellations in an epic middle grade fantasy series from award-winning author David Robertson. Morgan and Eli, 2 indigenous children forced away from their families and communities, are brought together in a foster home in Winnipeg, Manitoba. They each feel disconnected from their culture and each other and struggle to fit in at school and their new home until they find a secret place walled off in an unfinished attic bedroom. A portal opens to another reality, Askai, bringing them unto frozen, barren grounds where they meet Oshek, who is the fisher, the only hunter supporting his starving community. Asewa Oshek welcomes the human children, teaching them traditional ways to survive. But as the need for food becomes desperate, they embark on a dangerous mission. Accompanied by Arik, a sassy squirrel they catch stealing from the trap line, they try to save Masoa before the icy grip of winter freezes everything, including them. So I'm really excited for that. So as you can see, like, this can be for this prompt and also for the middle grade prompt as well. So yeah, I have this one and I'm really excited about this. Like, I'm even thinking about also picking up the second book because I know the second book is already out. So I might add that as well to where I can use this one for the lower 48 and then use the other one for the middle grade prompt. So I think that's what I'm gonna stick to. But yeah, so this is another book that I'll be reading for the Skoden Readathon. The next prompt is going to be the short story versus poetry. It says read short stories in books and verse or poetry. I'm still looking for that because I do want to read some poetry. So let me know down below in the comments if you have a book in mind or any recommendations. But I do plan on fulfilling that prompt as well. So I'm still on the hunt for that. And then the fifth prompt is 7-day challenge. Read Only Indigenous lit consistently for 7 days, which I will do so. I shall do that. So for that one, even though it's technically read 7 days, which I'm going to do that, but I'm add a book to that. And that is going to be Firekeeper's Daughter. But I'm just reading this. So it says Firekeeper's Daughter. It says keep the secret, live the lie, earn your truth. So this is another book that I'll be reading for a Skoden Readathon. Like I said, this could have been for the prompt for the Omau cover because it does have blue and it does have red and it does have black in it. And I think it might be Two-spirt as well, but I'm not sure. I think it is. But I just wanted to read this. I've been wanting to read it forever, and this is also going to be my book pick for November for my members. So I'm really excited to read this with everyone. I've been waiting on this, and I know Bree from Bree Reads, she mentioned it to me, and I was like, I haven't read it yet. So November will be a perfect month and time to read it. So I will also be reading this for the Skoden Readathon, and this will also be my member book pick for November. So we have Firekeeper's Daughter. I've heard great things about it, and I know that Angeline Bully is going to have another book coming out next year, I believe. So for this one, it says 18-year-old Donis Fontaine has never quite fit in, both in her hometown and on the nearby Ojibwe, sorry if I'm not saying that right, reservation. She dreams of a fresh start at college, but when family tragedy strikes, Donis puts her future on hold to look after her fragile mother. The only bright spot is meeting Jamie, the charming new recruit on her brother Levi's hockey team. Yet, even as Donis falls for Jamie, she senses the dashing hockey star is hiding something. Everything comes to light when Donis witnesses a shocking murder, thrusting her into an FBI investigation of a lethal new drug. Reluctantly, Donis agrees to go undercover, drawing on her knowledge of chemistry and Ojibwe traditional medicine to track down the source. But the search for truth is more complicated than Donis imagined, exposing secrets and old scars. At the same time, she grows concerned with an investigation that seems more focused on punishing the offenders than protecting the victims. Now, as the deceptions and deaths keep growing, Donis must learn what it means to be a strong, I can't pronounce it, Ojibwe woman. I'm so sorry, I'm not pronouncing it right. I do apologize. And how far she'll go for her community, even if it tears apart the only world she's ever known. Firekeeper's Daughter is an electrifying thriller layered with a rich exploration of the modern Native experience, a reckoning of current and historical injustices, and a powerful celebration of community. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. This sounds really good. I know it gets deep in here from what I've heard. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this as well in November for the Skoden Readathon. So I already mentioned middle grade. So the next one is the SGJ Rendon and Weiden. It says read horror, mystery, or thriller book, which I'm thinking about reading My Heart is a Chainsaw. But I don't know. That's something I'm probably going to add to it. So that's going to probably be in that prompt. And then the ninth prompt is a nonfiction book, which is a nonfiction read. And I thought, so I'm trying to look it up right now. I thought I would go ahead and go with Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I've heard a lot of great things about this. I know a lot of people have read it and I want to read it. So it says, a botanist, Robin Wall Kimmer, has been trained to ask questions of nature with the tools of science. She embraces the notion that plants and animals are our oldest teachers. In Braiding Sweetgrass, Kimmer brings these lenses of knowledge together to show that the awakening of a wider ecological consciousness requires the acknowledgement and celebration of our reciprocal relationship with the rest of the living world. For only when we can hear the languages of other beings are we capable of understanding the generosity of the earth and learning to give our own gifts in return. So yes, I'll be reading Braiding Sweetgrass. It says indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and the teachings of plants. So I'm really excited for that. So I felt like that would reach... that would fulfill the prompt for the nonfiction read. And then the bonus is read a graphic novel or comic, which I'm going to try to find one. I know that Kim has some recommendations on there, so I'll probably get one of those graphic novels and fulfill that prompt as well. But yeah, and then also another prompt, it says a new Indigenous author. So I decided to go with King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the Adrian X and Assault series, I believe. So this is new. I know the second book comes out in December, but I figured that I would read this. And I believe Bree from Bree Reads also mentioned this book to me. So I was like, oh yeah, I definitely will read this. And so for this book, it says, the Adrian who held me now carried his age within his eyes, which were burdened by heartbreak, and I wondered if that was what had made this man a monster. So it says, Isolde de Lara considers her wedding day to be her death day. To end a year's long war and protect the people of her kingdom, she is to marry the vampire king, Adrian Alexander Voslev, and kill him. But her assassination attempt is thwarted, and Adrian warns that if Isolde tries to kill him again, he will raise her as the undead, faced with the possibility of becoming the thing she hates most. Isolde seeks other ways to defy him and survive the violence and political machinations of Adrian's brutal vampire court. Except it isn't the court she ends up fearing the most. It's Adrian and her intense attraction to him. Wrapped in mystery and a past he refuses to discuss, Adrian nevertheless starts to become less of a monster to Isolde. Despite their undeniable chemistry, Isolde can't help but wonder why the king, fierce, complicated, ambitious, and at times inexplicably tender, chose her as consort. The answer will shatter her world. So yeah, this is another book that I do plan on reading for the Skoden Readathon. So we have that for the Indigenous author that I just haven't read yet. So we have this. So that is it. Those are all the books I plan on reading for the Skoden Readathon. Now, for the other books I'll be reading for the rest of November, I have not a lot, but a few. So the first one, which I feel like that is no surprise to any of you. Let me pull this up right now so I can read the synopsis. It's going to be Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. This is coming out later in November. I believe actually the very beginning, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm really excited to read this. I know some people have their have mixed feelings about Legendborn, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to continue on reading it and read Blood Marked. So it says for the synopsis, the shadows have risen and the line is law. All Bree wanted was to uncover the truth behind her mother's death, so she infiltrated the Legendborn Order, a secret society descended from King Arthur's knights, only to discover her own ancestral power. Now Bree has become someone new. A medium, a blood crafter, a scion. But the ancient war between demons and the Order is rising to a deadly peak, and Nick, the Legendborn boy Bree fell in love with, has been kidnapped. Bree wants to fight, but the regents who rule the Order won't let her. To them, she is an unknown girl with unheard of power. And as a living anchor for the spell that preserves the Legendborn cycle, she must be protected. When the regents reveal they will do whatever it takes to hide the war, Bree and her friends must go on the run to rescue Nick themselves. But enemies are everywhere. Bree's powers are unpredictable and dangerous, and she can't escape her growing attraction to Selwyn, the mage sworn to protect Nick until death. If Bree has any hope of saving herself and the people she loves, she must learn to control her powers from the ancestors who wielded them first, without losing herself in the process. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. So excited. And I can't wait. But supposedly it's actually going to be coming out November the 8th. So I already pre-ordered it. I already, I'm on my P's and Q's because I'm definitely going to get it. And I'm looking forward to reading that. So this is one book that I do plan on reading in the month of November for sure. It's like a must. The next book that I'll be reading is a recommendation by Ashley from the Bookish Realm, and that is Dinosaur Sanctuary Volume 1. You've seen this. This was in my October book haul, and I definitely want to read this one. So for this, it says, can a newbie zookeeper save a struggling dinosaur sanctuary? Dinosaurs are alive. In 1946, a remote island was discovered where dinosaurs never went extinct. Through breeding and genetic manipulation, dinosaur populations increased and dinomania reached a fever pitch worldwide until a certain terrible incident occurred. Afterward, dinosaur reserves like Enoshima Dinoland fell on hard times. Enter Zuma Zulume, a kind-hearted rookie dino keeper. Can she be the one to save Dinoland from extinction? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this manga. Thank you, Ashley, once again for the recommendations. I haven't even read this one, and I already pre-ordered the second volume, which comes out later on next year. But I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be reading this, so looking forward to that. Next book, which is also going to be, this book is going to be coming out in November, and that is Other Side of the Tracks, and this is by Charity Elise, which I'm really excited for, and it's floppy and it's chunky, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. And so let me read the synopsis for this one. So it says, Bayside, Hamilton, two racially segregated towns bisected by train tracks, and only one rule: never cross to the other side, ever, or else. Zach Whitman, a Philly native new to the all-white town of Bayside, doesn't care about the rules. No matter the stakes, he's bent on uncovering the truth behind what his new neighbors dismiss, like why the home of the first Black family to live in Bayside is in charred ruins and why no one ever talks about Hamilton. After discovering his favorite jazz musician owns a record shop in the all-Black town, Zach, who has dreams of being a famous music producer, crosses the forbidden tracks, unveiling age-old truths along the way and flinging himself directly into the path of Capri Collins. Capri and her brother Justin are contending with high stakes of their own. Their town is cursed, and all who move away from Hamilton meet a deadly fate. Still, the siblings vow to say goodbye to the socially and economically repressed Hamilton for good after graduation. Capri to dance on Broadway, and Justin to play college ball while setting up a future for his pregnant girlfriend. When sparks between Zach and Capri catch fire, the two pursue their dreams together, even if it means defying both Justin and the unspoken laws that govern their two towns. But one night changes everything. A Bayside police officer shoots his gun, spilling Black blood on the white side of town, and now the long-standing feud between the two towns becomes an all-out war, and Capri, Justin, and Zach are about to find themselves right in the middle of it. So yes, this sounds really good. I'm really looking forward to reading this. If you haven't pre-ordered this book, I suggest you do so, because I know it's going to be good. I just know. So yeah, so I have this, and I definitely cannot wait to read this in November. Next, let's see. We have a manga. This is going to be Monster Volume 6. Of course, if y'all don't know, y'all know already. Y'all should know, but y'all should know now that I'm doing a buddy read with some beautiful people, and so I'm on volume 6, so I'm really excited to learn more about Tenma, Nina, all the characters in this book, because it's getting crazy, it's getting weird, and I love it. It has me like questioning certain things. It has me wondering about this character and that character, who's out of their mind and who's not, who's sane and who's not, what's the motive, what's the agenda. Like, I'm here for it. I'm excited. So yeah, I'll be reading volume 6 of Monster. The next book, which let me look that up, because yeah, I gotta read this next book, because My Soul to Keep by Tanner Redo was on point, was so on point, and I need to know what happens next. I need to know. Now, I know why people talk about Jessica, and she annoyed the fuck out of me, which, people said that she would, and it made sense. I'm like, girl, you stupid. Like, you stupid. But yeah, so I'll be reading The Living Blood, which is the second book in the African Immoral series. So for this, let me read the synopsis. It says, Jessica Jacobs Walde's life was destroyed when her husband, David Walde killed both their daughter, Kira, and Jessica herself, and revived Jessica with his healing blood. David was a life brother, member of an ancient, secret, and immortal African clan. Now Jessica, hiding with her surviving daughter in royal Botswana, attempts to make sense of her new existence and of Fauna's growing abilities. Jessica's only hope of teaching Fauna to control her dangerous talents is to travel to Ethiopia and find the Life Brothers' hidden colony. So yeah, I'm excited for this. This sounds really interesting. I love the first book. I know some people didn't like it, but I love the pace. I loved everything about it. I just did not like Jessica. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give Jessica the benefit of the doubt, okay? I'm coming here with a clean slate. I'm not trying to be biased based off what people told me about her. And just from her actions alone, and just from like what her husband told her and shared with her, you know, out of confidence, like she done some stupid shit. So I'm really excited to read The Living Blood and to continue on with Jessica and her daughter, Beatrice. So really looking excited to read that. So I'll also be reading that in November as well. And then the next book is a graphic novel or comic, whichever you prefer, is Saga. This is book 3. I was supposed to read this in October, but just didn't have enough time. Just did not have enough time in the day to read all the books I wanted to read. So I'm pushing this into November, and I'm really excited to read this. And who knows, if I finish this, I might even read volume 10 of Saga as well. So we have that. But I think that is it. I don't want to do too much. I have enough books as it is to read for November. I'm excited for Skoden Readathon. I'm excited for all these books I'll be reading. So I think that is about it. That is my my November reading plans and also the books that I'll be reading for the Skoden Readathon. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to notify when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, everyone, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.
Wait, come back. Rewind.
So I forgot one more book, and which I don't know why I keep forgetting about it. Maybe because the books are just long, so I'm trying to like not think about it and put it into my memory at all. But of course, y'all all know that Bree and I are doing the Brandon Sanderson read along, and so we are in the Stormlight series now. So in the Stormlight archives for Cosmere. So we're going to be reading the third book, which is Oathbringer, which is right here. It's a huge book. I was able to I was having a hard time getting the hardcover copy because I think it was like out and I couldn't find it anywhere until like literally 2 days ago, where it was available online, and I went ahead and ordered it like that. So I was able to get my hardcover copy to go with the rest of the series so that the books match. So I am also going to be reading Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. And so for the synopsis, it says, in Oathbringer, the third volume of the New York Times bestselling Stormlight Archive, humanity faces a new desolation with the return of the Voidbringers, a foe with members as great as their thirst for vengeance. Dalinar Collins Alethi armies won a fleeting victory at a terrible cost. The enemy Parshendi summoned the violent Everstorm, which now sweeps the world with destruction, and in its passing awakens the once peaceful and subservient Parshmen to the horror of their millennia-long enslavement by humans. While on a desperate flight to warn his family of the threat, Kaladin Stormblessed must come to grips with the fact that the newly kindled anger of the Parshmen may be wholly justified. Nestled in the mountains high above the storms in the tower city of Orithru, Shallan Davar investigates the wonders of the ancient stronghold of the Knights Radiant and unearths dark secrets lurking in its depths. And Dalinar realizes that his holy mission to unite his homeland of Elfgar was too narrow in scope. Unless all the nations of Roshar can put aside Dalinar's blood-soaked past and stand together, and unless Dalinar himself can confront that past, even the restoration of the Knights Radiant will not prevent the end of civilization. So yes, we're going to be reading this big old book. We are now in the third book. We read Way of Kings. We read Words of Radiance. And now we are reading Oathbringer. And then we have what, one more book after this, and then we're gonna still be reading other things and then finishing out the year. But yeah, now I'm officially done. That is it for November. That's all the books I'll be reading. Hopefully let me cross my fingers. Hopefully I don't add nothing else to my TBR, but who knows what my mind goes through when I see books. So, but yeah, that is it, you guys. Sorry about the interruption, but I couldn't forget about this one. But hope everyone's having a great day, and I'll catch y'all later. See ya.